Today's meme of the day is...
There's two of them!
There's one thing we can actually positively say about the next time, people. Our friend that spoiled about the outcome of the last episode didn't spoil this one for us. And, well, we were all wrong. We thought and I say like I'm not sure if you guys thought this. Many people, including myself, thought Ash versus Yugi was going to be the 200th episode. Boy, we were wrong.
Well, it was advertised as the 200th episode on the Kickstarter, to be fair.
Yeah, but then they said, like, we had to change that so it's no longer the 200th episode.
Right, okay, so they kind of like, oh, man, I'm actually glad I never saw that, because that's like, oh, man, why would you spoil that?
Yeah. I was actually going under the assumption that the 200th episode would be one that hasn't been announced yet.
Sonic versus Mario.
But, and boy, were you wrong.
But yeah, so...
I'm glad it wasn't that.
Yeah. Now, when this episode was first revealed, I was kind of thinking at first, really? This is the 200th? But then, the more I think about it, this actually makes a lot of sense. So, Death Battle's 200th episode, Ruby Rose versus Maka from Soul Eater. I don't know her last name. By the way, we should probably get our guest on. I just realised.
Yeah, I was trying to say, hey, wait a minute. I was making sure he's ready, but he's ready. Let me get him in here. Speaking of, everyone, say hello to our guest, Fireball. Fireball, welcome on in, bud. Bill and Nate are MIA, real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah, I definitely did not start this portion forgetting about you.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely did not. I won't be editing a funny image of me having to get you from somewhere.
So... Bill wanted to know if you could answer a question for him. How do you pronounce Maka's last name?
Albarn.
The next time is Ruby Rose versus Maka Albuquerque. Maka Albiscuit. Ruby Rose versus Maka Albarn. There, I said it, alright? It definitely didn't take me 30 takes.
Bill, a round of applause for doing so.
Yes, so joined with us is Fireball, who's here to share a lot of things he knows about Soul Eater, because he's a nerd. Well, I mean, I guess we all are nerds, so, you know.
The thing is, I watched Soul Eater like many years ago, so it's hard for me to like remember everything I've watched.
Don't
Back
worry.
then.
We've made them take a couple times too.
And, you know, maybe you can also bring up some stuff, because there are some things I knew from one of my friends back in London, because shout out to my real life friend Paige, she's a big Soul Eater fan, and I kind of asked her just to give me a slight rundown of like Maka, and I'm just going to say before we get to her, like the actual aspect of this episode, if we thought Master Chief versus Doomslayer was a stomp, things Paige told me about, I was like, oh. God damn. But yeah, so regarding this episode, when it was announced, at first glance I was kind of like I wasn't against this episode. This is a and literally as I was thinking this, like, I mean, you know, it's a highly requested episode, and I suppose it was Monty's. Oh right, because if you know what was the inspiration for Death Battle, yeah, Monty was one of the key factors in that.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, okay, now that I say that out loud in my head, which is technically not out loud, yeah, that makes 100% sense. Like, so yeah, Ruby versus Maka, and I think pretty much all of us here are pretty much big Ruby fans. I mean, I'm literally holding a Yang plushie right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I got an autographed Team Ruby print behind one of my monitors.
I'm a big fan of Cinder versus Azula myself.
Still,
Well, if we're going over Ruby stuff, how much time have you got?
That's a good question.
Yeah. So, okay. So, regarding, like, RWBY and stuff like that, like, all of us are pretty much fans of it. Like, we grew up with it, and, you know, as me holding my Yang plushie, like, right now, I might have spent some money regarding the franchise. RWBY's kind of like an interesting case, though, regarding, like, online stuff, because, the show RWBY's kind of one of those things where it feels like a lot of indie shows that we get nowadays, like, for instance, The Amazing Digital Circus and Has Been Hotel, I feel as though if it wasn't for something like RWBY, we probably wouldn't have a lot of these indie sort of, like, shows that are spiraling on YouTube.
Yeah, one
Probably.
guy had a vision about a different version of the Grimm fairy tales.
Rest in peace,
Came to him in
Monty.
a dream, and all he could remember were the colors red, white, black, and yellow.
And every one of those colors but red has been touched on the show in the past. Some very good episodes, some terrible.
Hey, Weiss versus Mitsuru was not bad. In fact, I'll actually just say this, I don't think any of the RWBY episodes we've gotten for Death Hour, even the DVX episodes, I'd say they're not bad. I know there's a controversial RWBY versus Ragnar episode. Yes, people, it was to promote RWBY and stuff like that, but literally, the episode itself was still really well animated, so, you know, I got my money's worth. Even though I didn't spend money on it, but I got something worth. But do you know what? The other thing we should probably talk about this episode? Well, all 4 girls have made it onto it. Literally, the RWBY preview that came out yesterday, oh no, it came out Sunday, even acknowledges, yes, we're finally bringing RWBY back into Death Battle, because they've referenced her constant times in her friends' episodes and one her sister. It's finally good we're actually getting RWBY in Death Battle, because it was long overdue.
Did they actually name her in Weiss's episode? I don't think they did.
I wouldn't be surprised if they put it in like the sidebars, but I don't actually remember if they verbally referenced it. They've probably referenced the team at least.
Yeah, I mean, I know Blakely Mikasa was the one where they named, like, all 4 of them.
Yeah. The thing that's kind of interesting about this episode as well, because Monty specifically, before he passed away, Rip the Legend, he told them, like, this is his most wanted episode, but he also said maybe wait until after Volume 3 before doing it. So, evidently, there was meant to be something big at the end of Volume 3 that was going to make her really powerful. So anyway, let's talk about the episode. Actually, this is something I do want to talk about later on as we discuss this episode. So, Ruby Rose as a character kind of had the similar treatment as Deku had as of late. Well, actually, not as currently, but I think it was around like volume 5 or maybe it was 6. Yeah, Ruby just got loads of dislikes for her. Like, people started saying she was a lazy character, and I'm like, what the hell did Ruby do? Like, I don't know what it's with all the adorable looking characters. Like, I don't know, they do one bad thing and suddenly that just ruins their entire character. It sounds like YouTube is in a nutshell.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you're a YouTuber.
You know, I decided to take a look at something unrelated real quick on IMDb just because they're talking about RWBY versus Maka. I like the description they came up with towards the end of RWBY Maka. They saying, and I quote, "This one goes out to you, Monty."
Aww.
He was that much of a legend.
That's sweet.
Yeah, that is actually really sweet. Like, regarding like Ruby Rose as a character, I've always really liked her as a character. Like, she is one of those protagonists where until like, you know, Volume 9 came out, she never really went through development, quote unquote. She was more so meant to be the character, at least this is my interpretation of it, sort of character like, I can't remember the term that describes it, a character that inspires other characters and they go through the development because of her. Like, no, not a Mary Sue, which people get confused. A Mary Sue is a character that is completely flawless, they don't need to change.
Like a motivator of sorts?
Yeah, like, I'm trying to look up the term for it now. It's like literally at the tip of my tongue.
Like a Goku-like character?
Well, Goku does go through character development as well, to an extent. Sometimes a bit backwards if you go by the Tournament of Power. But yeah, like, she was always a character I always saw as just being that sort of positive outlet. Like, when Jean was going through, like in Volume 1, he was going through a very depression arc of, like, you know, not having to coast down to his bully because the bully knows something about him, which could have potentially ruined his life. And Ruby's just that positive inspiration. Just like it's a cute moment where Jean tries to be like, depression. Nope. But this depression. Nope. Like it's like in a way like no.
I hereby forbid you to be depressed.
Like you are the one that's holding yourself back. Like don't be like that. And in the next episode, Jean cuts the head off of. Okay, I know technically Pierre did help him a little bit, but Jean actually stood up for himself against the bully, and he was the one that saved him from a Grim. Like that's what Ruby's meant to be. I always thought it was like she is the inspiration for other characters to get development. Now, Volume 9 kind of changed that a little bit.
Well, I was also gonna say that also comes from like her own doubt as like a leader, like a few episodes back, which then Osborn helped her out with. So she essentially passed that on to Jean.
Yeah, like that's how I've always just viewed Ruby. Now I know some people have said Volume 9 kind of changed Ruby's character a bit too much. I don't agree with that. Like, I feel as though...
Yeah, no, that was building up for a long time.
Yeah, that's what I always kind of look at. She's always been that character that's always been motivating everyone else, but she never motivated herself, or more so focused on her own mental health. And in a way, I kind of like the fact they showed that she was flawed, because one of the many complaints people had up to earlier volumes until like 7 and 8, Ruby was seen as a Mary Sue, but thanks to later volumes, we know that's not the case. She's inspiring and helping people. She is still a little girl, though. Like, she's not a war hero. Heck, most of the time...
Yeah, touching on something...
Most of the time, Kingdom's...
It's okay for a character to have development.
Yeah, despite that being a kid, Ruby actually acts more like an adult when it comes to inspiring people.
Especially when she wields a weapon that's twice her size.
Yeah.
Also, I just looked at it. Impactful presence and also static character. Which, that's not a negative name. That is like a character. They're static, they don't change. But, I would definitely argue, thanks to later volumes, Ruby's not really a static character. Definitely more the inspirational presence character than as another way to describe it. So, I do kind of like Ruby's not getting as much flack as she did originally. Like, is Ruby a Shakespearean written character? Is she on the levels of Goku or Naruto? No. Is she a likable character though, who's very charming, fun, and let's be real, she's adorable? Yeah. Like, it's kind of like trying to...
Yeah, of course.
It's like trying to act like, Master Chief isn't, like, an inspiring character. First of all, you've clearly never read the novels, man. This is a guy that punched a banshee out of the sky to save a marine. But it's like, sometimes the characters aren't meant to be deep and complex. Maybe they're just meant to be cool. Like John Wick, he never goes through development. He's just that guy that's killed someone with a f***ing pencil. A pencil! like, what character development did he go through in his 4 movies? Technically 5 if you count Ballerina.
They killed my puppy.
Yeah, like, that's all the motivation you
That's
need.
the development.
That's all the motivation you need. This man lost his dog, and he was like, everything dies. Like, I mean, obviously Ruby's not... now that I said that, I kind of want to see a Ruby character kill a Grim with a pencil now. I once saw a huntsman kill a Grim with a f***ing pencil. It's like, I mean, our bread is so strong that we could create shockwaves in a food fight, so that's not too surprising. I'm not even kidding, seriously. In the food fight in Volume 2, they're literally creating shockwaves just from food fighting. Jesus Christ. We would not survive the Ruby world. We would be dead.
That was so good.
But yeah, I feel as though Ruby's a really likable character, and yeah, that's why I was also kind of dreading this episode, because I was like, with everything I know solely, especially thanks to, like, what was the name of the character I went up against Venom again? That was,
Krona.
Like,
Krona.
After learning everything about Krona and how the world in Soul Eater works, I was kind of like, Ruby's dead. Like, and I guess that kind of comes into something I wanted to talk about regarding the powers of Ruby, but let's talk a little bit about Maka, which I guess Sean and Fireball, you guys will definitely have more to say about those characters, or that character. Well, I guess technically those, because this is technically a 1v2.
Yeah, yeah.
There have been people saying that Soul counts as outside help, which pisses me off to no end.
Isn't that, though, like, it's because Soul's what they call a death weapon. It's basically a person that is a weapon.
Okay, I guess by
Yes.
that logic, then Eddie shouldn't.
If
have
that's
Venom.
considered outside help, then
And Hulk shouldn't have had Bruce.
I was gonna say if that's considered outside help, then Tony should never have had Jarvis or any of his AIs.
There's actually, there was at one point someone who did claim that was outside help.
Like, I guess Godzilla doesn't get the ultimate then. Like, he doesn't get the entity. Like, okay. I think people need to understand what counts as outside help. Like, if Iron Man was fighting Batman and Superman showed up, that's a whole other character.
Yeah, you know how we
with his
talk.
own stories and feats. Like, that's not someone who's part of Batman's arsenal.
You know how we talked about how RWBY was kind of inspired by, the Grimm fairy tales? Soul has little nods to old school horror, literally according to a character named Frankenstein.
Yep.
What a twist.
And
yeah.
kind of like Grimm, she fights demons as part of a thing called Witch Hunt. And Soul is her magic weapon that is also a scythe.
Yeah, in the Soul Eater world, some humans can turn into weapons.
I have to kind of ask, what's the personality of Soul like? Because Chrono's, can't remember what it was called, but I loved how they...
Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok. His lines in the death battle,
I would say
I
Soul...
still love the whole, wake up, stupid! And just punches the back of Chrono's head.
I think eventually, as the series went on, Maka and Soul kind of bonded as a very friendly sort of relation towards the later part of their series.
I have constantly seen that gif, and I think they showed it in the preview for the death battle, where they almost do a bro sort of hand clutch, and then they swing into a weapon. I'm not sure what the context for that is, but I do love that shot. It is so cool. It's like they're both saying, "Let's do this."
Yeah, that was I believe that was them doing their Soul Resonance. I think is what you're talking about.
Was it
A Soul
Resident
Resonance. A Soul Resonance is when the Meister and the weapon are in perfect sync, and they become stronger to take down the whatever Kenshin they're against. Or at least that's how I putting it together based from my memory or lack thereof.
Yeah, Soul Eater is definitely one of those animes that I have had on my radar for so long. But I guess now I have the motivation to want to actually check it out now, because, the Venom and Chrono episode was still good. Evidently, I didn't remember it too much because, I couldn't even remember the name. I could definitely see...
So this is how they first meet.
Sorry, go ahead.
By the way, they don't say a single word. They don't say a single word to each other when Maka first meets Soul.
I do like Soul's design.
This is from the actual manga.
Yeah, I haven't read the manga or watched the anime yet, but just from their designs, I kind of like the contrast. Maka's dressed to be a very well-mannered dressed schoolgirl, and then you just have Soul, who's just I don't give a crap what I wear.
Yeah, he's a pretty laid back kind of character.
Yeah.
Really chill.
But put them together as a team and they conduct a lot. They literally fight a guy literally based off Jack the Ripper.
Oh my god, a
Yep.
London representation. Not a good one, but
It was in the first arc of this series. You know what that arc was called? The prologue arc.
I guess it's a fitting title. That's kind of like naming the first book. It's
No, wait, actually.
Yeah, that's a first book, I guess.
No, the prologue arc actually wasn't the first arc. It was eventually later on. The literal first name of the arc, it was called the Introduction arc. Why? The creator was just like, why not?
Yeah. Now, I do know there was an anime that did the adaptation, but I heard the anime never got finished, so they just continued the manga story. I could be wrong about that if you guys could correct me, because anytime I look up footage on the anime, I only ever see, like, the one set in nighttime, but apparently, like, there was a continuation in the manga, which apparently Maka never achieved her transformations in the anime. Well, she achieved one, from what I've heard, but she never achieved.
I always heard it was different things.
Yeah. So, like, for instance, I was quite surprised to learn she has transformations from my friend Paige. Again, shout out to her. I think it was called the Black Blood dress or something like that. And there was apparently 3 levels to it.
I do not remember a Black Blood dress, but I do remember Maka being infected by the Black Blood at one point.
Was it?
Yeah, I think eventually what your friend meant was eventually Maka was able to harness Black Blood and use it in different forms, like the dress.
Yeah, and which
I
wanted to kind of this as well. Like, I'm just so surprised, like, learning about this. Like, apparently she gained this not early, but roughly around midway of like the first story arc. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, Maka gained a new transformation this early, and Ruby didn't even gain one transformation in her 9 seasons.
I think it was a case of, like, they weren't Soul Eater wasn't planned to go on as long as it did, but then people fell in love with it, so they kind of wanted more. Doesn't that sound familiar, mate?
Yeah.
What can you be referencing? The only thing I really know about May is Attack on Titan and RWBY.
Aura.
Oh! Bringing those old wounds. What did Soul Eater go on for, actually? I'm just going to quickly look that up.
This is going to be very interesting to see how choreography is done with scythe combat with this.
This is pretty much the first ever scythe on scythe combat battle in Death Battle.
And
yeah,
as confirmed on multiple sources, it is animated mostly by Luis.
Wait,
that surprised me. I was honestly surprised this isn't the Torian episode.
Yeah, me too.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking, alright, this has surely got to be Torian's, like, return episode. Unless EA need him to help out with another Star Wars Jedi game. No, I'm not even kidding.
But no, it's going to be Luis working on this one.
No, I'm not kidding, people. Torian actually worked on those Jedi Fallen Order games. Look it up.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I still can't defeat Ogdo, that frog bastard. Torian, you did this!
So, the anime is only 51 episodes for people wondering. It is all considered one big season, and that's really it.
Yeah, so apparently the manga went on to, like, 2030, which it didn't actually have that much of a long run. I guess when I'm just so used to animes being, like, thousands of episodes, I'm like, oh damn, it's actually an anime I could just binge. Or I guess I'm going to also have to read the manga, because apparently they never really continued the anime. With so many animes getting revived these days, like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, did you guys actually know Digimon had a reboot in 2020? With the original, like...
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, Fireball, I'm giving you a fist bump right now. Yeah, fellow Digimon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the original characters with Tai and stuff like that, so it's like a reboot where, because the original Digimon anime, none of the other characters got megas, just Agumon and Gabumon. But the reboot is like, hey, how about we actually give everyone their megas? I was so happy.
Sweet.
I was so happy to see Vikamon. Yes, there's literally a Digimon where a little adorable little seal creature becomes a Viking. It is epic.
Hell yeah!
But yes, so I guess like Soul Eater is one of those things where I'm gonna have to watch the anime and then continue on through the manga, or I could just be eloquent and just decide to read the manga like a Chad. I'm not a Chad, people, so I'm just gonna watch the anime and then skip to the manga. I'm a fake anime fan. I'm like that person who's like studying to read a book for the English lesson. I just watch the DVD. Like, I don't read the book. I just watch the movie.
Hey, me too. I prefer like movement in my entertainment.
I mean, I'm a book person as well, but I'm just thinking to myself, with how much little time I get these days, especially with, well, life, I'm going to find it hard to want to read a lot of the manga, so I'm thinking if I could just watch the anime and get to the part where the anime never continued on from, that's good for me.
Oh, so Bill, real quick before we move on, do you want to take a wild guess who the voice actress for Maka is?
For the death battle or the anime?
The anime. Is it someone you know?
Oh, I'm gonna guess Laura Bailey.
That is correct.
Wait, please tell me you're not just taking a piss.
Nope. It is Laura Bailey.
No, I need to Google this, man. I feel like you're gaslighting me right now.
I was gonna look up her. I looked up Maka Albarn on Google and I scrolled down. It says played by Laura Bailey.
Oh my god, it is! We're getting an episode with Grog's wife, people. Jesus Christ. So, I guess there's some... Wow, now that I think about it, yeah, this will technically be the second time RWBY's had a Laura Bailey voice character be in it.
I mean, they've also just had Laura Bailey herself.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, because when they did the Justice League crossover, Laura Bailey voiced Wonder Woman, so it's like, wow.
Yeah, but she also voiced someone in the actual series.
Oh yeah, who did she voice again? I'm trying to remember.
Amber, the Full Maiden.
Oh. The character barely had any lines. Anyway. Okay, I'm not making that up. I just guess Laura Bailey, because when it comes to female voice actresses, she's the first one I think of. Can you blame me?
Yep.
So I'm actually generally happy I just guessed that on the first try.
It's going to be interesting because I feel like that's going to be a good, like a third of Maka's analysis is going to be talking about her relationship with Soul for people who have never seen it before.
Yeah, so regarding like this matchup in itself though, like first of all, it's a really good matchup to begin with. Like I know it's one-sided, but you know what? Doomslayer versus Marshy's one-sided, but it's like you just have to do it.
Deku Miles, anyone?
Yeah, Deku Miles as well. Like, and this
Homelander, anyone?
Yeah, Homelander versus Omni-Man. Like, yes, it's one-sided, but it's one of those matchups you just gotta do though. Like, it's like you had, and again, this was a. Okay, I don't want to use this word like this. I was about to say this would be insulting to Monty's name if they didn't do it. I wouldn't be against if they decided, you know, I know this is a highly requested Monty matchup, but we feel like this one's better. But because this was Monty's highly requested episode, and because I think even before Monty even suggested it, I'm pretty sure loads of people wanted this episode. Like, when RWBY debuted...
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, when RWBY debuted, similar to how a lot of, when the franchise debuts into the world, people are like, immediately, death battle. Yeah, I was seeing a lot of RWBY versus Maka fan art because people wanted this. And apparently back then people were really thinking RWBY stomped, which I'm not sure at what point, how long well, Maka, like, solely ended in like 2013, which I'm pretty sure that was roughly around when RWBY was starting. So...
The manga ended in 2013, the anime lasted from 2009 maybe. I think it was because people only saw what Maka did in the anime.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well, because everything like Paige was telling me regarding this episode, regarding Maka, I was like, why did people think she's like RWBY stomped her? Because no offense to RWBY, like if there's one thing I could definitely say that RWBY has over Maka, she definitely has the cooler scythe. Like it's a sniper.
One scythe's a gun, one scythe's a person. They're both cool, man.
Yeah, like, and I've always loved this little moment from Volume 3 when RWBY's falling from the spaceship. Well, it's not a spaceship, but the airship. And it's this little animation where she's kind of like pogo sticking, shooting it to slow down her momentum. Like, I love that. It's like,
yeah, that was cool.
It's badass, but also just adorable because again, she's a little girl.
She does that again in Volume 7.
Yeah, she does. So yeah, in terms of like, you know, style, RWBY definitely has the cooler scythe. In terms of versatility, though, like, I was actually watching a video before this episode was even announced. Have you guys ever heard about this RWBY YouTube creator, the Judgmental Crit? By the way, love that name.
Yeah, of course.
Again, fist bump, man. Like, you and I are and her little edits are like, I saw this. You know, this was going to go into the video I was going to talk about. So she did this edit about regarding like RWBY characters not feeling as strong. It came out a month ago. It's literally like why RWBY doesn't feel like they're getting stronger, which I never even thought about it until I watched the video. But yeah, she points out the fact like Yang with like sticky bombs, she doesn't use them properly. Like she just kind of like stands there and just waits for the person to blow. And she does this little edit of like the Yang plushie walking up to a room, planting like the Trouble in Terrorist Town C4, then just scutting away, and the group's like, uh-oh, and blows up. I love her edits, they are so good. Like, she's a really underrated RWBY YouTuber, like, I definitely recommend people checking her out, and she's even got, I don't know what's with RWBY YouTubers having a really good, like, RWBY fan series. Like, there's a lot of RWBY fan stuff that's been coming out because, you know, obviously a lot of people are still eagerly awaiting Season 10. But you know what? The fandom is definitely keeping it. It's called RWBY Reverse Fates, where they kind of change the personality on some of the characters. Like, kind of like, you know, RWBY's more like Wise, Yang's more like Blake, that sort of thing. It's really funny. But yeah, she did bring up the fact RWBY characters don't necessarily get as strong as they probably should be. Because you gotta think, RWBY's been going on for like, I don't actually want to say the name of the year because it'll make me feel old. No, Future Bill, don't put the timestamp, no! Yeah, Future Bill.
When you turn.
Future Bill's trying to make me feel old because he's already old editing this video. Yeah, RWBY's been going on for a long time, and aside to Silver Eyes, like, I'm not sure if you guys actually ever noticed it about RWBY. Have you actually noticed, like, the characters' weapons, like specifically Team RWBY themselves? Their weapons haven't actually been upgraded, like, at all. Like, I didn't realise that until I watched, like, the Judgmental Critter, shout out to you. Like, I never realised that until I was watching it. I was like, no, like, you ain't got those stick. Oh no, I guess that's more like ammunition. I was like, well, why is now she got an upgraded semblance? Even, like, this is like, Blake's weapons literally never changed since like, her debut trailer. I was like, no, surely there's been like a new function it's had, like a machine gun mode or something. No, like it's one of those like Mandela effects. Like I've just been lying to myself. I was like, like, even RWBY's weapon, like the main character of the series, her weapon has stayed the same. Which I guess maybe you could argue that's kind of part of the theme. Like it's, you know, she's perfect the way she is. But I'm like, could you really not put like a flame mode on it? Like your scythe turns into like an element, like electricity or something. Hell, freaking Dead Island allows you to upgrade your baseball bat to be a shock baton. Yeah.
Oh, that's just hilarious.
Yeah. That was something that just really surprised me when I was watching the video. But yeah, and the reason I'm bringing this up though is because, well, Maka's kind of like Soul has gone through a lot of transformations himself, which you wouldn't think about because he's just a weapon. I guess a living weapon. Soul is weird.
Well, he's still a person though in their universe though. So it makes sense for him like to grow and develop.
Yeah, and I was just surprised about Maka having transformations. Like, I know about the you know the one where she gets like scythes on her arms and legs, which Jesus Christ, how does she move the way she does when she's like that? Well, I'm clumsy in the kitchen. I'm not sure if you guys actually noticed. I've burnt myself on like the chip fryer on my arm at one point. Now I have a permanent mark that would look like I've been marked by the predator.
Well, to be fair, Maka's just not really good at handling scythes.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if I had those scythes where she has them, I would have sliced up everything in my room by now. Like, yeah, you gotta love anime. They make the most what's the word I'm looking for? Nonsensical thing would be amazing somehow. But yeah, the transformations themselves, I was like, when Paige was describing to me like how Maka's like blood dress, I'm assuming that's what it's called. I'll put the name on the screen if I'm getting it wrong, so the comments can't correct me. Yeah, this form basically allows her to like, it increases her strength, increases her speed, and it also allows her to learn people through their souls. Like, she has this thing, I think it's called, like, you guys can confirm this for me, like, Fireball. Isn't it called, like, soul preference, not perception, where she can basically read who you are and how your powers
Soul
work?
resonance.
That's what it's called. So, like, she can basically look upon you and know how your powers work just because of your soul, and, well, because Ruby's powers work by their souls. Already, Maka's got an advantage there.
I don't remember that from the anime.
This was specifically, she learned this from Frankenstein. It was team-wise soul resonance. Maka was able to do this with resonating with her own team, so that's where that kind of started.
Yeah, and a lot of her abilities and stuff like that are pretty much like soul focused, aren't they? Like, a lot of her attacks attack the soul. She can see, so apparently she can also sense people with a soul, which at that point I'm just like, you mean you can use your eyes and see people?
She did. That was a one-time thing, actually. Called Danger Sense. Funny enough.
No, it was not.
It's called Danger Sense.
Oh my god! I knew My Hero Academia was a rip-off.
This was specifically only ever displayed when she met Krona for the first time.
Alright, so this isn't like a consistent thing that she just has in her arsenal.
I probably still will count it. It's just been only demonstrated one time. Like Rogue's Sixth Sense, basically.
Right, okay. She also has the ability to heal as well. I don't... yeah, again, Peter, I've not read the manga or watched the anime. I don't think it's ever shown that she's survived, like, lethal blows, like being chopped in half or something like that. All I know is, like, this form that she gains basically makes her on par with most of the heavy hitters of Soul Eater's world, and thanks to Chrono, we kind of know how powerful the Soul Eater world is. For the record, I do kind of disagree with Venom lost that fight, but that's, you know, that's beside the point.
I think what's going to make this an interesting episode is just how they're going to write these two interact with each other, because Maka, in her universe, doesn't show any sort of evil intent whatsoever. Like, there's no evil within her.
Oh.
In Maka, yeah, there's no evil within her.
Ah. I mean, I kind of imagine it. Isn't she, like, one of the main characters?
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
There is one thing I know that she has, which, well, was like a big thing in, I think it was the anime, but it's not going to be helpful here. It's like some super scythe mode where it's like specifically kills evil people.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much like the
But, like-
bomb on Superman, then it's going to be useless.
Yeah. It actually didn't work in the anime because apparently the person she tried to use it on, like, there wasn't any evil intent in them.
Yeah, a lot of
At least
what
that's
Maka does,
what I vaguely remember.
yeah, a lot of what Maka does, it's most of
what
her
makes it
techniques,
good.
as described.
Can that weapon at least work on that
Yeah,
person
no.
that always types first in the comments, please? Like, they just go, first! She just busts through the window. Nobody cares! Just slices.
Yeah, so for people who like the writing of Miles versus Deku, I think they're going to do a similar thing with this in the writing sense.
Oh, so is Marco a bit more light-hearted? Because the more the images I've seen of this character, including thumbnails,
Yeah.
she kind of looks like a bit of a stuck-up bitch. And just like that, I've given us 10
Yeah.
dislikes. Like, she doesn't...
It's because she has anti-demon wavelength. That's why she has no relatively evil or insanity within her. It's also why most of her techniques are based around erasing and destroying evil.
Oh, so that's kind of similar to... That's probably
So,
why...
yeah.
That's probably why Monty was saying wait until the end of Volume 3, because Ruby Silver Eyes things kind of work similar, where it destroys Grim, which are evil creatures. Yeah, so... I guess that's actually kind of the thing that's going to be kind of sad about this. And this is also regarding Ruby with Silver Eyes, because when that was introduced at the end of Volume 3, I was really hyped thinking this is going to be like a Super Saiyan form. Like, we're going to see Ruby go like white-haired, have angel wings or something like that in the future. No, she only has an ability that hurts specifically Grim, and I was just like, oh, poop. Also, I think she's literally only used it like 3 times in the entire Ruby run. I could be wrong, mate. Is it 3 times or is there a few more times?
Hang on.
I think what you could make the argument for is that it could potentially work on Soul himself.
5.
Okay, 5 times.
Yeah, I kind of 5.
Wait, no, 6 if you count Ice Queendom.
Okay, yeah, we'll count 6, because technically that is canon to the RWBY timeline, it's just better animated.
I guess you could say 7 because she attempted to use it in the crossover, but like because of where they were, didn't work.
She used it more times than Maka's used Danger Sense.
I mean, yeah, she has that going for her. Also, I'm pretty sure those films aren't even canon anymore, so that doesn't really count then.
I think that's still quick canon adjacent. I don't know.
I'll put it on screen whether it is or not. Which one of us is right, Future Bill? Who am I kidding? Future Bill's just going to say I'm wrong. He's biased.
He hates all of us right now. Future Bill hates everybody.
That's the canon. He's like alternate personality, but he's just like, I hate everybody. They made me edit stupid shit.
So like,
I'm still editing the D&D video, for Christ's sake. Let me sleep.
RWBY also has Aura.
Yeah, but that's kind of powered by the soul, though, so that's what... Like, okay, I don't think Maka has, like, defense. Like, she doesn't have any shielding and stuff like that. So that's what Aura could be used for. So RWBY has that going for her, but at the same time, because most of Maka's... Like, for what it sounds like, most of her abilities destroy evil. So it's like, most of her abilities aren't going to really work on RWBY.
Hey, doesn't this sound familiar, boys? There is season 9.
There is one thing I also want to comment on, because Bill, you brought up versatility.
Yeah.
Are you counting the different kinds of elemental dust that RWBY can use?
I mean, most of the dust that we've seen RWBY use are like... I also kind of want to also shout this out in the chibi. I know chibi's not canon, it's just like, you know, it's one of those anime chibi things. I loved when she used the gravity bullet and it just launched her back. Like, what's the point of that weapon? Like, okay, you fire a gun that launches you back. Are you just firing another bullet then? Or are you gonna make someone fly by hitting them? But yeah, like, so she has gravity, which I guess allows her to, like, I don't know, it's a more powerful bullet. Fire electricity. I don't know if those are really gonna work.
Also ice.
Ice as well. I just don't think those are going to work on Maka, because I'm pretty sure Maka's meant to be faster than RWBY. Because especially if you scale her to Chrono.
The fastest Maka's ever been is against a character named Asura, I believe.
Yes.
Oh my god, we've come full circle, man. Azara's rough. Okay, now I just really want to see, like, I don't know, Maka about to do, like, the Earth, like, ginormous punch, and RWBY does the freaking, like, stomping the feet, going, Rah! Like, I just want to see that now as, like, a joke. Like, she sees the giant scythe head in her way, and she, like, plants her feet in the ground, like, readying for it. Yeah, like, I think... But the thing that I just noticed, like, I think just many characters that... Because as far as I know, not a lot of RWBY characters have shown, like, light speed feats, as far as I'm aware. Like, especially when we've done, like, previous Lads debates where we... I mean, granted, we talked about, like, Yang from Blaze Blue crossover, but yeah, that's, like, the only time I can really say a RWBY character is definitely consistent with light speeders. Whereas RWBY characters...
I'm pretty sure I've brought up beats of people reacting to lasers.
Oh, yeah, do you know what? You have, Pyrrha. Do you know what? I stand corrected. Comments, you don't need to...
Also, Winter.
I don't remember the Winter one, but I'm
also,
the word for it. You're the RWBY.
Also, if you want to count the crossovers, like, RWBY, like, reacts to lasers in the, like, training room.
Again, it's just like, you could make an argument for RWBY to possibly be faster, especially with her semblance on top of that.
Yeah.
We're going to be calling back to that, by the way.
But here's the way I guess I'll get into it when we give, like, our final thoughts about predictions and whatnot.
I do know RWBY's, like, semblance has the ability to, like, when she goes into her rose petal form, she basically, like, deconstructs herself, as well as people if they get caught in it. And, like, it's almost like a teleportation thing in a weird way. The thing is, though, I'm pretty sure Paige also told me that Maka can't have her, like, soul or her body, like, altered by any, like, reality warping effects. She could be talking absolute bollocks to me, and I'm just taking it because, you know, I've not seen any of the stuff. For all I know, she could be lying to me. I'm definitely not just throwing her into the fire just so I don't get any backlash. No. Paige is gonna be
Yeah, I remember there was
the episode like, excuse me, Bill, I never said that.
This just reminded me of a thing for Beerus versus Galaxia back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Like apparently people brought up all these abilities for Galaxia, but she just didn't have them. Like even the crew commented on it.
Fandom making up feats to gain a win? No, surely not. But I will say though, but given the fact that we know like other characters with soul abilities can't affect Maka, you could, that might not work with Ruby's semblance. But at the same time, Ruby's semblance doesn't really kill.
To answer Bill's question.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
To answer Bill's questions about Kit, Maka does not have resistance to having her body altered. It's just her soul.
Right, okay, so Paige was somewhat right. I might have just misinterpreted it as like she also can't change her soul, her physical form. Yeah, but again, I guess even
Oh, no, her physical form can be altered, not her spiritual one. In fact, at one point, Maka got transformed into a dude. That happened in the manga.
No comment. just no comment.
Yeah, and Dragon made flashbacks.
Oh, God.
Pretty much.
Is it going to be a case where literally the only thing that's changed is that she now notices she has a dick? Because I remember that was the thing in Dragon Maid, like, because I can't remember the name of the main character. Like, people always said she already looked.
Kobayashi.
Kobayashi, yeah. It's literally called Kobayashi Dragon Maid. Jesus, Bill. There was this reoccurring joke that she already looked like a dude, but then the character changed her genetics. Like, the only thing that was different about her was, well, her lower region. Is that a case with this one where she didn't notice anything was different about her?
I think, as from what I was reading earlier, was even her personality changed a little bit.
Okay.
Because of the alteration.
Well, Kobayashi's kind of changed as well. She was constantly horny for women.
Well, we know that guys have a brain and a dick and only enough blood to work one.
Yeah, that is true.
Anyway.
Sean, you can't disagree with that. We're all men here. We can admit we literally have two brain cells. One's the nerd side, the other side is the unga bunga.
So
yeah, sorry, Sean, continue.
This is just going to be fun to see what Luis can do with the animation. Obviously, I genuinely do think we are getting Lindsay back as RWBY.
Well, that might be possible, but given how Viz Media is very protective of their brand, I really struggle. I mean, it's not impossible. If they really can't get Lindsay, though, there is a good alternative they can go for, and if you're familiar with the RWBY fandom community, they should definitely get Tina to voice RWBY.
Was that the name of the person who did the RWBY versus Mandalorian rap battle video from that Animation versus Everything guy?
She's done so many RWBY abridged stories as well. Like she even does like this thing where I think, and now that I think about it, I think shit, I forgot. Mate, what was Blake's voice actor again? Help me out here, bud.
Her official one, or
yeah, her official voice actor, Blake's.
Aaron Zach?
Yeah, cut that bit out. Like Aaron Zach did this thing where you could pay her money and like she'll say something funny or say whatever. Really, she's done
cameo.
Yeah, cameo. Tina does the same thing with her RWBY character. Like, I'll put two clips side by side of like the official RWBY voice and Tina's voice, and it is perfect.
As acting and only ambassador for Remnant, I would like to make an official proposal. Ahem. What if we borrowed your moon?
Listen, it's not murder, it's friendly sabotage.
Again, I will be absolutely amazed if we do get like Lindsay to come back, because at that point then we've had all the, not only have we had the 4 girls in Death Battle, we've also had their original official voice actors. Again though, you know, understanding how Viz Media works, they can be very strict with things, including apparently fan projects, which let's hope they're not the Nintendo route of fan projects.
I mean, this also just means that if they do, then, well, Lindsay would be credited under an alias or something.
I also forget Death Battle have done that. I mean, they have never done that media.
Michelle Rage Quit would be her name.
So rage quit, yes. There's a lot of potential for that, and it's still surprising Luis is working on it, but given how he's worked with previous death battles, you know what? This man could definitely bring the hype.
Well, I mean, it's not just Luis, it's also Devil and David too.
Oh, okay then. So I think it's definitely going to be a 3D fight. Damn, 2 3D fights back to back. I mean, if they make it hand drawn again, like that will be amazing. Like the final girl of Team RWBY, like gets a hand drawn fight. That would just be amazing. Because I've always said, like, when they did the Justice League crossover, it missed opportunity to not have the DC side do the hand drawn elements. Like, just imagine seeing RWBY in like a comic book style. Like it would have been so cool. But I guess we'll move to our final thoughts. We've been talking about it for a while. I guess we'll let Fireball have his final say regarding this matchup. Like, what do you think of the matchup, and also who are you predicting? As I smack my laptop. Ow.
Honestly, with the people just saying that RWBY is done for, I gotta go for my girl RWBY.
Oh, you're
gonna go for RWBY.
Give her a shot. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? If you're right, then
biggest upset since Spawn versus Ghost Rider on this podcast, at least.
Oh man, if one Fireball loses his character, but this Fireball gets his character win, that would be great. Right,
that'd be funny.
So, what's your reason for RWBY winning this matchup?
Other than the fact that everyone else is against her, I think RWBY's aura is gonna be a factor, and I do believe the Silver Eyes won't work against Maka, but still, I don't know. I just want.
I quickly wanted to ask so Maka has black blood, right?
Yeah.
What's the origin of that?
Krona, or I guess a Medusa.
Is Medusa like a dark god, essentially?
No.
Oh.
I was actually kind of
okay. Well,
that might have swayed me to potentially join the RWBY side, but now I'm like, crap.
Well, something I was actually thinking, if say there's enough like things in common with the black blood and just the essence of Grimm, could you make an argument that Silver Eyes would work? And since it's like literally in Maka's body, would it essentially vaporize her from the inside out?
I feel so.
That was something I remember seeing like play at points. Like,
if I recall, I think.
And I remember even thinking about it once.
I'm pretty sure.
Like she made it in a lab.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Silver Eyes has only been said to hurt Grimm. Like, I'm pretty sure like it's not said to hurt people of evil or anything like that, or dark energy.
Well, I'm not thinking like evil people. I'm just meaning specifically like the black blood. Yeah. Like if there's enough similarities between that and just like, well, what Grimm are.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to take your word for it, but as like I'm not too familiar with Soul Eater, so I can't really counteract that. So I'm just kind of like, maybe. But Fireball apparently says it's not.
Blackblood was.
That's just a thought I remember having at one point.
Yeah. So anyway, so Fireball, you're going for RWBY. I guess you're kind of rooting for the underdog in this fight.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of rooting for you to hopefully get a win. Like none of these characters deserve to lose. They sound pretty well. RWBY, Maka sounds really cool based on how you guys describe her, and I like RWBY already, so it's gonna be a tough one to sit through. However, with that said, with everything I've heard from like my friend, people online, and from Fireball and Sean describing how Soul Eater Maka works, I just can't think of a valid way for RWBY to win. Like, the only thing I could really give her, she has maybe better ranged weapons, because as far as I'm aware with Maka, she has no ranged attack, she is only close range, and what we already know is RWBY's not good at close range. Well, against people who are much more skilled at close range than she is, so I think I've got to give it to Maka. And who knows, maybe this episode will be good enough that I might finally check out Soul Eater. And who knows, maybe the Death Battle curse will happen and they will continue the anime and I won't have to read the manga. I'm not against it, I'll still read the manga. So,
yeah, as far as I can recall, Maka doesn't have any ranged options.
No, not every time.
I think she makes projectiles with her scythe. Like that kind of generic stuff. But that's it.
So mate, who are you?
Can I go last?
Okay then. Shawnee, you go. No, it feels weird going from Sean to Nate.
So, here's my final thoughts. A majority of Maka's abilities most likely aren't going to work on RWBY, but I think Maka has the edge in every other stat that really matters, so I'm going to go with Maka.
Alright then, mate.
Before I say anything, I just want to bring up like a few hopes I have for this, and also just want to throw this out. The fact that just a RWBY character is in like a milestone episode, it's essentially putting like them up on like in the same echelon as like, let's say, Mario and Sonic, Goku and Superman, like, you know, those kinds of like legacy matchups. So, first of all, okay, that is cool. And look, there are like big feats in RWBY which I hope get brought up and calculated. Because like I've seen them and been like, okay, I really hope someone calcs this, and no one has. So seeing it in the Death Battle would be nice. And I will admit, if I sound a little like not enthused about this, it's because of like community stuff. Like I've been burned before on how Death Battle fans usually tend to treat RWBY. In fact, I even remember one comment I found on Reddit of someone naming me specifically and being like, "Oh yeah, that guy's easy to make fun of because he's a RWBY fan."
Yeesh, man, what a dick.
It's a big part of the reason I just like I never wanted to like look into community stuff with RWBY anymore. Now it just extends to overall. Hell, I've doubled down on this specifically. Like I even muted RWBY versus Maka on social because I'm just like, nope, I do not want to know what Death Battle fans have to say about this. With that out of the way, look, I am rooting for RWBY hard. Like, if she can win, it would be like the biggest upset of like this whole era. And yeah, obviously I'm a RWBY fan, so if a RWBY character wins, that'd make me happy. But also just like, just make this a good episode, and also like don't end the fight with like, oh yeah, they stand absolutely no chance like at all ever.
Well, I mean, Death's never really done that aside with Aquaman versus SpongeBob, really. So I don't think they're gonna like treat it as.
Oh, Weiss Mitsuru.
Huh?
I mean, like the ending of Weiss v Mitsuru. Like Weiss had her aura broken, and then Mitsuru gets up, full heal. So yeah, like at that point it's GG.
That's kind of Persona from what I've been told.
Well, yeah, we know that now. But I'm just saying, like, in the fight, like, I could have made it a little closer. Just for the sake of animation, I mean. But, yeah, my prediction for who actually wins is probably going to be Maka. Am I going to enjoy having to see RWBY lose? No. But I at least hope, one, the episode is good. It gives RWBY a lot of respect. Maka too, obviously. And at least have her go down fighting like a badass.
Like with like an Ichigo Naruto ending?
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
I mean, with how with how Death Battle's been going recently, I say it should happen that both characters will be receiving respect.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like, I don't think Death Battle, and you know what, people can't use the argument that they're going to be RWBY biased if they give her like a lame death. Like people, I mean, I will say, as much as I like Wife vs. Mixture, the death is pretty lame. Like, if they do give RWBY a lame death, I don't think they could use the argument they're biased under Rooster Teeth, because it's like, mate, those guys aren't even part of Rooster Teeth anymore, so that argument's invalid. I'm really glad that's kind of dying off now, because people in the comments, like, there was one guy who only had like 2 likes when he commented it, and he had like 30 people saying like, mate, that joke is gone, like, it's over. So it's like, I'm really glad that's starting to die off now. I'm like, oh, thank goodness that trend is dying.
Yeah, the joke's dead and I've pissed on its grave.
Yeah, so they can't use that anymore. Unless they get bought by this media. At that point, Jesus Christ, it's not just RWBY bias they have to worry about.
My God.
It's like, they're JoJo bias, they're One Punch Man bias. One Punch Man literally lost
Well, I
his
mean,
episode.
given how big a fan Liam is of JoJo, you could probably already make that.
But yeah, so...
I kid. Like, JoJo characters have lost.
Yeah. But, you know, regardless, I'm hoping this episode also potentially gives me more motivation to want to check out Soul Eater, and maybe the anime will continue, question mark. But yeah, with all that said and done, Fireball?
Oh, one last thing.
Okay then.
Can the Death Battle Curse strike and give us something, like, RWBY related?
Please.
Like, news on Volume 10 or like a new game?
Please, Volume 10. Who knows, maybe the Lad's Curse will strike first. That's been kind of going on a roll this year.
Yep.
But yeah, with all that said and done, thank you, Fireball, for joining us for this prediction. And
Thank you for having me. Again.
As tradition, we are going to send our guest to somewhere. We're going to send you to Remnant.
Sweet!
During Volume 6.